We come also to the color overlay. This is simply for solid color overlays. So it helps to just lay the color. Let's say we have the original color is green, but we want to overlay it with another color to change the color. We can use red. We can also reduce the opacity to kind of blend the colors together. But well, you can choose to leave it like that. Then we also have the next one, which is the gradient overlay. Now the gradients, they are predefined gradients that exist in Photoshop. So these gradients help to show a color combination or mixture of more than one color. That is a gradient. A gradient is a combination of two or more colors. And now, how do the gradients work? There's a lot of things we need to know for gradients. If we click on the gradient itself, we can see this. This is the gradient slider that shows us where the color stops and where the color starts from. So it's showing us as we adjust, we can adjust this to say, okay, we want this light color. We want this light color to start from somewhere in the middle. So we drag it to this place. It's going to have more light colors on one edge than the other edge. If we leave it like this, it's set to be even and be distributed evenly. We can also change the color of a particular place. Once we click on the button here, we have the color panel pop out. We can choose to change the color and have a blend of two colors. We can also choose to add another color. When we come here and see, as soon as the button changes or the cursor changes, we can click on it and that adds a color. We can come to the color and select the color and say, let's make it red. Now we have three colors already selected. We can come to another place again and click on it again. Change the color, double click, change the color. I want it to be blue. Come again, double click, change the color to green. And we can see we have made a kind of rainbow formation from this gradient. So gradient, but mostly it's always best to keep your colors at two colors to make sure the gradient is a perfect fill. So if we want to do that, we can say, we can say let it be this, and let this be this, and let this be this. So we have a color of red, will I call it yellow, red, yellow now? Okay, say yellow, red, yellow. The color has changed now, and we have our gradient. When we are done, we can choose to delete a gradient. We can choose to delete a gradient. We can choose to delete an addition to it and delete it so it goes back to the original length. You can choose to create a new. Once we have done it, if I undo the changes made, let's say I make it this, and I want to save the gradient, I can come and click on new, and it already adds the type of the gradient we selected to this place. So when we are coming back, we can come and pick this gradient and use it another time we like. Okay, so when we are done with setting the gradient type, we click on OK. And now the gradient can be applied in reverse order, which is going to make it look like this, to change the order of the direction of the gradient. We can also click on the layer style. We can apply a gradient linear. Linear means it's standing straight. Radial means it comes in the center. It applies and emphasizes it on the center. Angle means it picks one angle and concentrates more the power on one angle. Reflected means it turns the gradient to the opposite of what was selected before, the opposite arrangement. Then we have diamond, which splits it into a diamond shape, applies it in a diamond shape. You can also come to our angle here and tilt the angle we want it to be to see how we want it to appear. So all these are various things you can do with your gradient. You can also reduce or increase the scale of application to see where it's going to apply and where it's not going to apply. So when you are done with all this, you can apply the gradient to whatever work you want to do, and you will do that. Then we have the pattern overlay. Like I mentioned when we're having our bevel and emboss, I said the pattern overlay deals with adding different patterns, which are already predefined patterns, on a work. So I can choose to add this pattern of this water on the work, and I can reduce the opacity so it blends into the green and make it look like a green grass. So all these are also the same thing. You can choose your blending mode, however style you want it to be, and you can increase or reduce the opacity to fit whatever you want it to also be like.